Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday night, and real quick before we get into the show, did the little intro sound funky to you guys?
To be honest, I never listened to the little intro,
Okay.
So I wasn't.
It just sounded like it was off, like it was like slowed down a little bit. I don't know why, but
no, it's probably just my
off.
brain. That's probably just my brain. That's all right.
All right, well, let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM, and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Butoff. Joining me tonight, as always, have Jacob Terrell, Earl Nieto. Guys, I have one burning question for you this week. Who is out of the Open Cup?
I'm waiting, Earl. You had it all teed up there.
I did. Give me.
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
That might be the most relevant one you've ever brought to the show. Kudos to you. That was nice.
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. I kind of feel like Early would have played that no matter what question I asked.
Oh yeah, he had it teed up from the get-go.
Yeah, that was ready to go since this morning. I had that one ready to go, locked in since this morning.
Okay. Oh man, just like I feel like it was funny after watching the Open Cup last weekend. Sombrero Man obviously was taking some shots at some folks over the weekend. And it's quite funny to see the reactions to those across social media. So, did you guys watch Open Cup at all last weekend? I know, well, Earl, you were out of town. Jacob, I know you were watching some of it.
I
watched any.
I watched quite a bit of it. The El Paso match was fun, as always.
Go Fuego.
Yeah, and then Phoenix came this close to not being our host. The Colorado Springs match was kind of weird. You watched that one. I mean, Hailstorm was down to 10 men for a lot of that game, and somehow Colorado, who in the league is still just killing everybody, they just couldn't find the back of the net for some reason. So, but it's nice. I'm excited for a week and a day from now.
Yeah, I felt like watching that Colorado Springs match that even though they clearly had the better team on paper. They clearly had the better team physically, but they just couldn't buy a goal. And, the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, obviously we saw them in person and they played really well for a half against us down here at Mesa del Sol. And I was over in the Slack chat for a group of folks who write for thecup.us and was talking to them. I said, guys, watch Northern Colorado. Like I think they're gonna be a pretty good side this year. And sure, if they came out and they delivered against the Switchbacks. So congratulations to them. And it was just, there were so many games going on. Earl, did you watch any of them at all?
No, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I was inundated with
stunners. He took 3 stunners in a row.
I was inundated with 4 days of nonstop wrestling.
Capped off by taking 3 stunners. I heard. Was it like Oprah? Did everybody get a stunner? Was it like you get a stunner and you get a stunner and you get 2 stunners? And Vince McMahon got like a quarter of a stunner.
So, in regards to your question,
comical when you hear it from the outside looking in, but we're very likely dealing with a mental illness here. And, the behavior is so outrageous that it can sound comical when you hear it from the outside looking in, but
so yeah.
Earl, I actually went back and forth on the burning question for this week because I really wanted to ask you specifically, was that the worst sold finisher of all time?
Which one are you talking about?
McMahon.
Oh, I mean, come on. Did you really ask which one are you talking about? I knew what he was talking
bad
about.
ones. There was a couple bad ones.
I know Jeff Hardy
pretty
had a pretty
sure-
bad one too.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon had like a heart attack when he got kicked. And then everything just like died on him. But yeah, that was probably the worst stunner I've ever seen Vince McMahon take. He's usually pretty good at taking them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he's also like 80. So
yeah, I mean,
and what sucked is it's set up, especially as somebody who's like, that's my heyday of wrestling, was the McMahon Stone Cold era there. And I was like, this is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What? That was exactly what I did during that.
yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, he could have definitely did a whole lot better on that one.
Well, and what caught me off guard was usually I wrestlers mess up moves all the time, I'm assuming, but they are able to cover it, instead of just picking him up and like I don't even know what they did.
So
but
here's
like
what
he could
bothers
have
me.
he could have like thrown him across to the other side of the ropes, and then as he was coming back, done something. But no, it was just a sloppy.
So here's what bothers me. It was the greatest weekend in just about all time.
What is that?
This, my friend, is a skull.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. Other than it, like, I don't see how they fit. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyways. Yeah. So it was probably one of the greatest weekends of all time, or most stupendous weekend of all time, if I want to throw in a pun. The fact that each of these matches that happened, all 812 of them, trust me, it was a long freaking weekend. Each of these matches were rehearsed more than once.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was a surprise that Stone Cold showed up and gave Vince McMahon a stunner, or gave Pat McAfee a stunner, or gave Austin Theory a stunner, or
the Austin Theory cell job
was the best.
That was awesome.
You have that, and then you follow it up with McMahon, and it's like the polar opposite on how to sell a finish.
So here's what sucks about the Vince McMahon stunner. You got Austin, or not even Austin Theory anymore. He's no longer Austin Theory. He's just Theory. Yeah, he changed his name now. Sold it phenomenal. And then Pat McAfee takes a stunner. Sold it incredible.
Yeah, his cell job was really good too.
I would put Pat McAfee cell with The Rock. What's up, David?
Yeah, McAfee's was nice.
Yeah, Pat McAfee had a really great sell. And then Vince McMahon, who just like had a heart attack in the ring.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, sitting down watching WrestleMania weekend. And then I have to say, there were a few matches that kind of let me down, but the greatest moment of the entire weekend for me watching at home.
If you say Jackass,
no,
Jackass, I will sign out of this stupid thing.
Jackass.
As much fun as that was to watch, the GIF of Pat McAfee laying on the ground guzzling a beer. That's probably the best moment of WrestleMania.
That's usually how I feel. Speaking of Pat McAfee, though, we are here for soccer. As much as I would love to talk about what is a GIF. It's that stuff you put on your sandwich with the jelly?
It is pronounced GIF, not GIF. I will fight you to the death on this.
GIF is that stuff that you put on your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, usually on the bottom side, so it like everything weighs down. I get carried away though. Sorry, I digress. I did. I did happen to tweet Pat McAfee over the weekend.
Oh, did you?
Ooh.
You got back
I
on
did.
Twitter just to tweet Pat McAfee.
Just to tweet Pat McAfee. That's it.
Okay.
Because Pat McAfee's intro song has this very similar resemblance to this New Mexico United chant that we do around this place. He was very entertained, by the way.
Very cool. Very cool.
Jacob looks so confused right now.
I'm very lost.
Earl, maybe you should reach out to Pat, see if we can get him on the show. Get some
David-
WrestleMania vibes.
David will reach out.
There we go.
Yeah, David and him went beer drinking together.
You should get Pat McAfee out to a match. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's Open Cup. Obviously, round 2 happened last weekend. I was out.
Wait, are we done with the wrestling? Are
Yeah,
you
Earl-
telling
Earl-
me? Are you
Earl
telling
moved us
me?
on. Earl
Are you
didn't want to
telling
do
me
it.
that I spent 2 nights watching WrestleMania, and that's all we're gonna? I'm fine, actually. I don't really care.
No, please, by all means, continue carrying on.
No, because see, that was like a lifetime ago. It feels like.
Oh,
And
you're
so-
telling me.
I remember very little, honestly.
I remember
about it.
just about all of it, including night 1, where there's 77,000 people trying to get out of a stadium at once, which is not fun, by the way.
Did you go both nights?
That's why you wait. That's why
Yeah.
you wait for like half an hour.
So my WrestleMania night, or my WrestleMania weekend, consisted of me driving to Lubbock on Thursday.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah, it was very, very strange.
Well, no, it's just weird that
um,
we were both in Lubbock.
Yeah, he
It
didn't
was
reach
very
out.
random. I did. I was the one that told you I was in Lubbock.
Yeah, but then you're like, hey, let's not get dinner tonight because I'm too busy or whatever.
Well,
Whatever.
So
Anyway.
I was there for a men's conference, and we had services at night. So
Oh.
dinner would have had to have been at like 9.
So, anyways, so then
And I know you're
Friday
bedtime's
morning.
7.
Friday, I was on vacation.
Oh, so 8.
weird that-
Sorry.
It is weird that anyone's in Lubbock ever, but it also beats driving to Dallas after you've worked a day.
There's a-
So
There is a
have one
college
this
in
night.
Lubbock, David Carl. There's a
Yeah, it
rather.
sucks.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that, but there is a college there.
So Friday morning we drive to Dallas and we get there. Which, if you've driven in Dallas in the past 5 years, I'm pretty sure they're doing the same construction on the same freeway, and they've just added more construction to that same freeway. So construction sucks, by the way, because it's like every freeway. We get there Friday, get to the hotel, and shower, shave, and then jet down to the American Airlines Stadium arena because we had wrestling Friday. Then we had wrestling Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning at noon, and then Saturday again at night for WrestleMania, then Sunday for WrestleMania, then Monday for WrestleMania Raw. So yes, I had 5 days or 5 different events of wrestling all weekend long. Bless you, whoever that was.
Earl said, "Bless you, babe." She said, "Thank you."
She's probably like, what the hell's going on here? So it was a very exhausting weekend. And I can't wait to do it again next year when I go to LA.
You can't complain though. I think did we lose?
He's frozen.
Okay, yeah. I was like, did we lose it? Because you
I'm pretty
you
sure.
can't. No, we can. He could hear me. You can hear me, right, Seth?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Earl's having a stroke. That's what's going on. Earl is currently Vince McMahon right now.
Anyways, so like I was saying, night 1 of wrestling of WrestleMania, while 77,000 people are trying to get out of Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium to be politically correct. Because if I say Cowboy Stadium, I'm pretty sure in 3, 2, 1, David will say Cowboy suck.
Jerry
So-
World.
David, if you want to put that in, that's fine. I accept it. Cowboys do suck. Anyways, night 1, we're walking out and we finally get to our van. And my little brother finds this bag.
Oh no, this is I don't.
Is
I don't
this,
know where
is
this
this how
started.
you become Heisenberg?
finds this bag, and then you stop. I'm like,
sorry, I was trying to see if I still had the bag. I was looking around, but I don't.
No,
have
you
it.
never keep the evidence.
Oh, you'll be surprised. So, anyways, we find this bag hanging on our passenger side window. So my little brother opens it. We get in the van, opens it up after we leave the stadium because
You
obviously
let
no
him
evidence.
open a strange bag that was hanging on your door?
Fuck yeah! It was a WrestleMania drawstring bag. That's what I was trying to look for it, but I don't have it. I probably gave it to him. That's why. Anyways, in this WrestleMania drawstring bag, there was a whole bunch of merchandise in there, like a blue WrestleMania hat, which I didn't keep. It was this, I believe it was gray, a blue WrestleMania shirt that has like WrestleMania on the top, and then there was this other shirt, which I definitely kept for sure, that looked something like this.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's a Roman Reigns shirt. So I was like, yep, I'm definitely keeping that. And I'm going to pull the older brother move and punk you for it. So I kept I kept a Roman Reigns shirt.
No, there you go. That's the way to do it. Free merch. Just you don't question it.
Yeah, you can't complain.
But yeah, no. So I offered Earl the opportunity to do a WrestleMania recap. He opted not to, and I mean at this point, it's probably not. Again, like Jacob, like you said, it's so far ago. Kind of hard to remember what happened then. So, yeah, Earl, we're glad to have you back. We obviously didn't do a show last week. Audrey and I recorded something after the U.S. Open Cup match here in town against Las Vegas Legends. If you haven't checked that out, it is over on the podcast feed. Audrey and I stood outside UNM Soccer Complex, did a little recap, talked a little bit, and we shared the news that came out. The club announced, I believe, yesterday about Alex Tambakis, who did pick up an injury prior to the Open Cup match and will be out for a period of time. We don't know how long yet. Audrey and I were getting ready pre-match, and Peter came up and we're talking to him, and he let us know that Alex got hurt.
Pete Leaks.
Hashtag Pete Leaks. There you go. And so we were talking about it.
That's David's favorite hashtag on Twitter.
It sure is. And so Audrey and I were talking about it after the show, and we have heard that the club is going to be signing someone. We do know that. We don't know when. I'm about 98% certain it will be a goalkeeper, because as of right now, Ford Parker is the only keeper that is healthy on the roster. So be on the lookout for that later this week. Hopefully later this week. At least that's what I've been told. So looking forward to see what happens there. I did float a name to Peter. He didn't shoot it down, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And so Audrey and I kind of talked about it. Go back and listen to it on the recap episode from over the weekend, and let us know your thoughts on that. So, I mean, with the injury to Alex, do you think we see Ford get a start this weekend against Phoenix? And we'll cover this real quick, and then we'll finish up Open Cup draw. So does Ford get the start, depending on who gets signed this week?
I mean, with the knowledge that we have now, you have to say yes, because we don't know who it's going to be. And honestly, he starts one of these two Phoenix matchups, regardless of who we sign. My guess is it would be the first.
Okay. Earl, what are your thoughts? Do you think Ford has, from what we've seen of Ford so far this season, he's had a couple of appearances, and we actually found out that the appearance he got in the preseason was a last-minute thing. That Alex had picked up a little bit of a knock, and Ford was a last-minute addition to the match day roster in the preseason. So, do you think Ford? Do you think he's ready for this? Phoenix is obviously one of the teams to beat in the Western Conference. How do you think he stacks up?
I mean, I don't know what Jacob was just doing there. That's a little weird.
I'm trying to get my dog to jump up into frame, but he's being shy.
Oh, so To answer your first question, do I think Ford makes a start? I mean, do we have anybody else? I know you just said that you kind of threw some name around. But at this point, it's
Would you like to know the name that I floated?
Cody.
Yes. Cody was the name that I floated as a possible short-term loan. Now, I don't know. I think it would be a great hit with the fans if Cody came back for even just a short amount of time. It wasn't shot down, but we don't know.
I would be absolutely shocked if it's Cody. My thought was Ben.
I mean, could be. Ben did just have a rough outing for El Paso, so I mean, I would love to see Ben come back.
No, that was Phil.
Or yeah, you're right, Phil. I do apologize. That was Phil.
Ben. That's why I threw Ben out there, because he is not, according to what I've researched, he is not on a club right now.
So, anyways, here's how I look at it. If we don't sign anyone by what's today? Tuesday?
Good job, bro. Sorry.
Thursday. If we don't sign anybody by Thursday, yes, you can expect Ford to start. At this point, I would be willing to bet just about anybody in the world, including David, a beer that Ford starts. And that's, yeah. And how does he stack up? I mean, he held his own during the Open Cup, so might be good.
I mean, it's Phoenix and Las Vegas Legends. That's two vastly
I know.
different.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. He held himself against the Legends, so yes, okay. I mean, I don't really have a say. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's understandable. I would feel for Ford if that was his first, league start for him against a club like Phoenix, because we know what Phoenix can do. While they haven't necessarily been the Phoenix of the past couple years so far to start this season, that's a tough matchup for any keeper in their league debut. Do I think Ford could? I think Ford does get the start on Saturday, depending on who the signing is. But even then, like I feel like it's probably about a 90% chance that Ford gets the start. At least in that match. So, but before we do talk about Saturdays, we do have the Open Cup draw. I want to talk about this here real quick. Open Cup draw happened on Friday, and New Mexico United was put into the Mountain Division pot with Phoenix Rising, Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and Real Salt Lake. And surprise, surprise, we drew Phoenix away. The news did come out from the club, and I did actually talk to David Carl ahead of time, and the club did not apply to host a third round match due to having no facilities available for that. And Peter Trevisani actually said this over on Facebook the other day, that the club would not be able to host any further round this year. Again, due to lack of facilities being available. Some other things have come out that I haven't quite reached out. I haven't reached out to the club and tried to confirm yet. There was another reporter I saw that said that University of New Mexico did take the full gate from the Open Cup match. David, if you're still in the chat, if you want to confirm or deny that we would appreciate that. But that is something that is out there now. I wouldn't be surprised, because we know that UNM set the prices for this match. UNM basically rented the facility out to the club to host that. And I gotta wonder how beneficial. Yes, it's great having the Open Cup match here, but how beneficial is it to the club if they get no percentage of the gate, if they're also then having to pay rent to UNM for use of the facility as well?
Maybe that was the rent.
I mean, maybe 2,100 folks at roughly 30 tickets, $30 a pop. So, you know.
Are
you trying to give me a brain aneurysm tonight?
Yes. We got to do math, Earl.
Or it
that's right.
was built into it somehow. I don't know. Like you said, though, I wouldn't be surprised either way. But it's still, I think, having the home match, what you get in merch sales, what you get in exposure, it all evens out in the end.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. And, I was out there. I felt like, I know it was a Tuesday night. I was expecting a little bit more of a crowd, but still 2,100 playing an MPSL club on a terrible weather day. I felt like it was still a decent draw in terms of attendance. And I gotta say, I'm surprised they're not here in the chat tonight. La Maldición, fantastic presence at the Open Cup match on that Tuesday night. It was absolutely incredible. I spent time at both ends of the pitch, and I gotta say that north end with La Maldición was incredible. Like, those guys were killing it, so much more so than some other supporters groups. And that's not to say that they were making noise, being loud. The Coppolas were good, but like, that north end was just rocking, and it was a lot of fun being down there. But yeah, looking at the draw, I mean, were you guys surprised we got Phoenix? Like, what are your thoughts on facing Phoenix again? And now it ends up being 2 matches in like 4 days in Phoenix.
Well, I'm
gonna go first. I have my feelings.
There you go, Earl. Jump in there.
I'm gonna kill myself. Wow. I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault.
I mean, it's not really my fault, but okay, thank you.
Okay. Try to get us back on the rails there. The day of the draw, in fact, when they announced that United and Northern Colorado didn't put into host, that leaves us with 2 options. So I wasn't surprised at all. I also wasn't surprised because the way they did the weird draw thingy, I'm relatively sure he was looking at the envelopes, but
unless those were like triple ply, like card stock, yeah, I'm pretty sure,
because he was like, I don't, nope, this one.
Yeah,
like, really.
But here's how I looked at that, because I kind of watched it, kind of didn't. I was busy doing work, unlike Jacob.
I was sicker than a dog that morning. Thank you. That whole day.
My point still stands, by the way. So I kind of watched it, kind of didn't, and I kind of already assumed it was going to be Phoenix, just because you look at RSL, who's a higher division, whatever the hell you want to call it, and then you have us and Phoenix, who still sucks, and then Northern Lights, Colorado.
Northern Lights?
Yeah, exactly.
Northern Colorado hailstorm.
Same
Northern
thing.
Lights Cannabis Indica.
That's exactly what I said. So I mean, of course, the higher division is going to get the lower division because it makes for the David versus Goliath thing that the US Open Cup likes.
But you could have had 2 David Goliaths.
So then
you could have had Northern Colorado. No. Yes, you could have had Northern Colorado, a smaller division, going up against Phoenix, a larger division, David, Goliath. Then you could have had us, Goliath, or David in this scenario, going up against Goliath in MLS. Your logic is flawed, sir. Your logic is flawed.
Did you bump your head today?
Logic flawed.
Like, I know they. So the reason Phoenix is in the Mountain Group is because supposedly they did like a coin toss between FC Tucson and Phoenix Rising because they're geographically similar, and so that one of the clubs had to go one way or the other. Now, I think it would have been interesting to see FC Tucson in our group. FC Tucson is not a terrible club. I think it would have been more interesting to see from a viewer's standpoint. I think seeing Phoenix out in that Pacific division, I think that would have been a much more interesting match to watch. And
like a Phoenix LAFC match.
yes, I mean, I think that would have been a much bigger draw than, I mean, yes, Phoenix, New Mexico is going to draw. It's going to be a great match, at least we hope so anyway. And it's going to draw, but it's not going to get the national attention that, say, LAFC Phoenix would get, or LA Galaxy Phoenix. And I feel like USSF could have done that a little bit better.
My question, so I know that they said it was a coin toss. I didn't watch the group for Tucson.
Mhm.
Did Tucson put in to host?
I
think they did. But with a smaller league like that, or a smaller division like that, I'd be a little nervous to have. You could add a four. Okay, they did. Okay.
Yeah, FC Tucson is hosting Cal United Strikers.
Okay. My point is mute then.
Isn't it always?
But yeah, it just, and I think there could have been some very interesting draws had they done it a little bit differently. Now, I'm not upset by facing Phoenix. I don't like the fact that we have to play them twice in 4 days. That's my problem. That's my problem with it. And so I think this is going to be a tough week coming up for United, no matter how you look at it. Phoenix Rising, Easter weekend, and you got them midweek for the Open Cup, and then come back and play another game at home on the 23rd against San Antonio. So, it's going to be a tough week for the club. And, I look at these at the Open Cup and I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I just don't want to play Phoenix. And it's not that I have doubts about our ability to perform against them. It's just, it's the timing. That's my thing.
Well, the timing would have sucked would it have been any easier to go to RSL?
Well, in terms of travel and stuff, no.
Yeah, but it's still it's theoretically a tougher team, depending on what kind of team RSL fields.
They're not bad this year, so
no, they're good. But for 3 matches, we didn't necessarily see or for 2 matches, we didn't necessarily see an A team from an MLS squad. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until Minnesota that we were like, oh, okay, these are the starters. Not to take anything away that we did. I mean, they were still MLS quality players. It just wasn't. It wasn't a team that they were going to roll out there to play LAFC on a Sunday. It was a team that they were playing in the Open Cup. So that being said, I still think going to RSL would have made this week tough, maybe even tougher, because you're going from Phoenix to there to here in a week instead of Phoenix, stay in Phoenix a little while, and then come home. And playing a team that we have a rivalry with, maybe that ups the sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once here.
I'm pretty sure Jacob's having a stroke.
Maybe it being a rivalry match twice in a row, your adrenaline gets going a little bit more in those, so maybe we wear ourselves out a little bit more.
And he's officially out of his stroke.
Nope, I'm back in.
I mean, I get it, but do you think it makes it harder to get up for the players to get up for both of those matches with the level of intensity that's going to come with how close they are together?
It depends on this group of players. I was looking at the starting lineup the other day, and there was only one player out there from year 1, and it was Sam. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the roster as a whole, there's only, well, I guess 2 because of Weehan. Sorry. If you look at the roster as a whole, I think there's only 3 from year 1. 4, sorry, Tete. I'm making my argument worse and worse. But I remember asking Devin about it several times, and Coach Troy, and the Open Cup was something that they were definitely amped up for. And so it's not like they're going to go out and half-ass the league game because it's first. I don't see that happening at all. They're going to go out there and try to get 3 points. What is going on here, Earl?
Earl, this is not OnlyFans.
I can see down your shirt.
I'm sorry, I was looking for something on my desk.
Oh, okay.
Carry on. If I was trying to show you, if I was trying to give you a peep show, you would know.
That's scary. I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I think you're gonna see 2 good games against Phoenix. And the way I see it, it gives us 2 opportunities to beat Phoenix, which we were only going to have 3 opportunities between next or when they come here, and then these 2. So that's 1 more than we were going to have this season.
Yeah. One final Open Cup question for you, because we'll obviously have a Open Cup preview next Tuesday night. Looking at the draw as a whole, for the 3rd round, we know that 17 MLS clubs entered for the first time this season, with the hopes that it would give some different, not just different matchups, but more opportunities for lower division clubs to host. Now, the draw on Friday started off really well for the lower level clubs. Quite a few were drawn home against MLS sides. It ended up being 10 MLS clubs hosting with 7 on the road. The 7 on the road are Inter Miami. CF is going to Miami FC. DC United is going to Flower City Union from Nisa. Columbus Crew is going to Detroit City FC. Let's see where's that. New York Red Bulls are going to Hartford. Charlotte FC is going to Greenville Triumph. Minnesota United is going to Forward Madison. Austin FC is going to San Antonio, and I believe that's all of the MLS clubs that are on the road. Do any of those stand out to you as a possibility for an upset?
I think a few of them do. I think that Hartford one is intriguing. I honestly think Greenville could be the big underdog there. And then maybe what was the other? The Miami one is fascinating. The 2 Miami squads facing off against each other. Very interested to see what happens there. Inter Miami has been atrocious, I think would be the right word to use in the league this year. And the Miami FC looks fairly competent, and so I think that could be a very good match.
You know, I look at these, and if I had to pick one, I would say San Antonio and Austin. I think that's going to be a really great match, and I think San Antonio could walk away with the win there.
I don't. Yes, they could. I don't. I know Harry. It means a lot to Harry, and it's a very interesting matchup that, of course, I'm going to watch. But I think Austin's just better.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they take it seriously, I don't think that's going to be much of a game. I really like what Austin is doing. And I know it's in San Antonio, but everything about Austin FC is just very intriguing to me. Their fan base is crazy. They come out, they win the first 2 matches 5-0 and 5-1 or 4-1. And I just like what they're doing and think that they'll be motivated to make a move in this Open Cup.
Earl, what do you think about Minnesota United going to Forward Madison?
Oh, you know me too well. That's actually one match that I want to watch. One, I love Minnesota. I mean, Forward Madison. Minnesota. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I love Forward Madison, and their new Ukraine kit that they have is pretty freaking wicked. So I definitely interested in that one, and I was praying to God that they would come here until I found out that we weren't hosting, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll go over there. That'd be cool. And then found out that they're not even in our little squadron. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah,
I think Ford Madison could beat them just because they're a fun squad to watch.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting matchup. You know, the Mingos have a very incredible fan base, and they do a lot in and around that area. They do a lot of fundraising, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of awareness, and like I just think that atmosphere. If Minnesota comes out and does not take that seriously, you know, Jacob, you mentioned it with Austin, San Antonio. If some of these MLS clubs, if they don't take the USL Championship clubs seriously, or even the Ford Madison, like there are some of these MLS clubs that I think could be upset, especially the ones that are going on the road. These home MLS matchups, though, I don't see a whole lot happening there. Like I don't see Atlanta United losing to Chattanooga. I don't see Real Salt Lake losing to Hailstorm. LAFC Orange County. Orange County is not the same Orange County that we saw last year, so I feel like LAFC's got the edge there.
Yep.
So did you say no?
So I can definitely see Atlanta losing and LAFC losing. And I only say that to try to piss you guys off and get a rise again.
The one that I foresee where MLS is at home is FC Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I feel like this is a game that FC Cincinnati could just get like embarrassed in.
I don't know about embarrassed.
Well, then what would you say? What do you think what do you think FC Cincinnati's chances are in this match?
I mean, their chance of winning, they've got to be favored. I mean, they're playing pretty good soccer right now. They seem to have kind of figured things out at this MLS level after 3 years. And
they are 2-4-0 right now.
But look at their recent form, not the whole year. I think they might have lost this weekend, but before that, I'm pretty sure they won 2 in a row.
I'll have to look. I don't know.
They have talent. It just, to me, when I look at if I think an MLS team is going to win or not, it's way more about how I feel they're going to take it, how I feel, what they want to accomplish with this Open Cup. If it's just a competition that they're in and they don't care about it, then I predict them more to lose a little bit more, which is why LAFC to me is not a guarantee. I think LAFC is going to focus on the league and trying to win MLS Cup in the playoffs and get right in the league after an off year last year. And so I could really see this Orange County game turning into Orange County versus Las Vegas Lights. I could see Cal Jennings. I could see Malofsky. I could see Trejo mixed with maybe Mamadou Fall because he's 19 at center back.
So when you asked Seth a while ago about the chances that they have to beat,
it's okay.
whatever,
I wasn't talking. Cool.
Yeah, it's fine because I have the chances that they have. Like I really do.
Okay. And there is copyright strike number 1 of the night.
Nope,
Thank you, Earl.
That's why I stopped that far because it was not 10 seconds.
So Jacob, you were talking about FC Cincinnati's most recent.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
They've lost their last 2 matches in a row.
Okay, well they won 2 at one point. Okay,
they beat Orlando, which admittedly was a good win for them. Then they beat Miami. So beating Miami isn't saying a lot.
I have actually watched them, and they pass an eye test that they haven't passed before.
Okay,
so I don't give a damn about your numbers over there. Okay.
I mean, numbers and logic and math? What?
No.
Okay.
I'm a Republican, damn it.
Yeah, there's no logic there.
All right. Well, there you go. There's some quick USL. Well, not really so quick. US Open Cup talk. Like I mentioned earlier, we will discuss New Mexico United's match against Phoenix Rising in the third round of the Cup on next Tuesday's show. But next up, we have a match this Saturday, Easter weekend. New Mexico United taking on Phoenix Rising FC out at Wild Horse Pass. Guys, this is to some people the rivalry for New Mexico United. I know some people still say it's El Paso down south of us. But this matchup here has been electric every time the two clubs have met. In fact, last season that, it was even then, like in a down year, like it was still interesting to watch. And so Saturday night, we look at United going on the road. United is still unbeaten on the season, 2 wins, 2 draws, no losses. And Phoenix Rising 1 point ahead in the standings, 3 wins, 2 losses, and no draws.
Wait, what did you call this matchup?
I'm calling it Desert Wars, but Oh my god.
All right.
We're getting canceled today.
So have we listened to real podcasts before? They have a producer that is just in charge of drops. And they just have a little screen there. Yeah. I vote we move Earl into producer role, and he doesn't have a mic. He just has drops ready at the willing, and all he does is hit a button and something plays, whether it's that or the stupid question one, which I thought was the best one of his entire podcasting career.
Yeah, there we go. We'll crowdfund a soundboard for Earl. Yeah, there we go.
We need to take this one to the board though before we make any decisions.
Okay, we'll do that. So yeah, Phoenix has won the last 2 in a row. We've drawn our last 2 outside of Cup play. Phoenix seems to be finding a little bit of the form that they had last year. They did lose 2 in a row previously to San Diego Loyal and Las Vegas Lights, but more recently they've picked up wins over LA Galaxy 2 and San Antonio. Looking at this, I know we said it's not the same it's not the same Phoenix club, but realistically, what is going on in Phoenix right now? Why do they not seem to be living up to the expectations that have been set for them?
Can I ask you something first real quick? Seth?
Yes.
Are you those people that think that this is the real rivalry?
Yes.
Why?
Because he has brain damage. He does follow Atlanta United.
No, I feel like
he's also a Braves fan, if that helps at all too.
World champions. There you have it.
Carry on.
I feel like the matchup with Phoenix is the rivalry because I feel like it's a better test of skill for both clubs than playing El Paso.
That has nothing to do with a rivalry, though. Nowhere in the definition of rivalry is it a better challenge to your talent. I don't care what David says right now either. Okay.
I also, and while you got the banter from the fans going back and forth from El Paso and here, it's, if you look at the stuff that comes out of El Paso, it's the same stuff. They're calling people plastic fans and all that kind of stuff. It's not to me, it doesn't really up anything. And when you look at guys like, Earl's favorite over on Twitter or some other folks, they legitimately hate United. They hate the fan base.
But they don't hate us because we're their rival. They hate us because we're the FC Cincinnati to USL now.
So I don't know if Jacob's having a stroke or not, but here's what I think.
No, it's because we draw numbers. We haven't won shit. And that's all I've seen these arguments on Twitter. And it is, we're the better team. Oh, well, we have more fans. That's what the argument is from most New Mexico United supporters on Twitter when it comes to Phoenix fans in general.
I don't care about the numbers. Like that doesn't the numbers.
I know,
don't
but
mean anything.
that's why they don't like us. They don't. It has nothing to do with the play on the pitch. Phoenix. Had you asked me this before COVID, Phoenix
What?
was the rival.
What?
Phoenix was the rival before COVID. But you cannot have the rivalry be somebody that we did not play in 2020. We played once in 2021. Or we played them in 2020, sorry. Played once in 2020, played once in 2021. When you have a team that there are constantly yellow cards and occasionally red cards when we play El Paso. They do not like each other. You can watch the game and see that the players do not like each other. They respect each other after the match, but they do not like each other during that 90 minutes. And so, to me, it's not... We can have more of a rivalry with Phoenix fans. The Phoenix fans can be our fans' rival. But as far as the teams, I think if you'd ask the players, most of them are going to say it's El Paso over Phoenix. And when I watch the games, that's what I see. The games with Phoenix are fantastic. They're very entertaining. They get chippy because almost every USL game gets chippy in some way, shape, or form. Hell, the Las Vegas Legends game got chippy at times. So the chippiness is going to be there no matter who we play, but it doesn't have the same feeling as El Paso.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I do. I just, while the rising matches don't have the yellow cards and the red cards and like what seems to be a genuine hatred between the players, I feel like
that's what a rivalry is.
Well, that's part of it, yes, but that's not all of it. Like, there is rivalry, there is heated play, but it's more competitive, it's more tactical. It's not the stop and go, yellow card fest that we have with El Paso every single time out.
That's just El Paso's play style, though.
And that's the case. But I feel like if you watch the play on the pitch against Phoenix, if you look at the interactions between the supporters, I feel like Phoenix is the rival. And I would rather take 2 wins over Phoenix than winning a season series against El Paso.
I would much rather put my eyes in hot sauce before I watch any Phoenix Rising match.
Can't that... I don't see what you're saying as mutually exclusive to a rivalry is the problem that I have. Are the matches more enjoyable to watch? Yes. Would I take 2 wins over Phoenix this year instead of 2 wins over El Paso? Yes.
No.
I would, because they're who I want to be competing with. I don't want to be competing with a 4-0 El Paso team this year right now. I want to be beating Phoenix this year and showing that we belong near the top of the Western Conference. But that's not what a rivalry is. Rivalries are regional, teams that face each other a lot, and teams that do not like each other. And that is what El Paso is.
Phoenix fits all 3 of those.
But not near as... No, because we have not played them a lot. We've played El Paso 12 times.
The only reason we haven't played them as much is because of the COVID seasons. That's the only reason. And had that not happened, we would have had the exact same number of appearances against them as with El Paso.
And before the COVID season happened, I agreed that Phoenix was our bigger rival. But things change. And the fact that we have played El Paso so many damn times, and I think what's going on here, Seth, is you're just annoyed that you had to write so many El Paso previews in the last 2 seasons, and you're just sick of them. And I get that. But the points that you're making, to me, while they are true in every way, shape, or form, it just doesn't have the same feeling to me as the El Paso matches because of the division play last year and the year before.
Again, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, and we can agree to disagree on here, on that fact. And but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't take away from what we're going to see on Saturday. Over in the chat here, David Carl, better soccer in the matches versus Phoenix. The rivalry began earlier. The players hate each other. We don't control the schedule. we've got Open Cup history versus Phoenix, not El Paso. Not saying El Paso isn't a rivalry, but Phoenix is our biggest one. I see. That's exactly it right there. That's exactly it.
The only thing there is better soccer. That's the only difference between the El Paso matches and these matches. And that's not a rivalry to me. I've seen ugly ass football between the Steelers and Ravens, and that's one of the biggest rivalries in sports. It's not fun football. It's not watching Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl style football. It's ugly football. It's ugly football, but it still makes for a rivalry.
All right. Well, we'll leave that open to anyone listening on the podcast or over in the chat. Who is the biggest rivalry for you guys? Is it Phoenix? Is it El Paso? Is it someone else that we haven't even discussed? I mean, is Colorado maybe the biggest rivalry? I don't think any of us would ever think that Colorado is, but
no, because I love Colorado.
Reach out to us over on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Let us know who you feel the biggest rival is. And if you're in the chat, throw it up in the chat. We'll get to that as we always do. But so, why is Phoenix not lived up to the hype? I don't think we ever really answered that question. Why haven't they lived up to it?
Sidetracked the crap out of us.
What is going on there? And do you think maybe they're starting to find their way a little bit?
I think it's just they lost a few large pieces. One, good job, David. I don't know. I disagree, but whatever.
So I think before you go, Jacob, back to the rivalry talk. I think United's biggest rival is the stupid citizens of Albuquerque voted no for the stadium.
Well, I guess you could make that argument there as well, but we'll get the stadium eventually. We've had conversations with folks at the club, and it is coming at some point soon. Sooner than we think. It's still a couple years off, but it's coming. They're working on stuff. So, back to the question at hand, Jacob. What's wrong with Phoenix?
Nothing.
Okay.
They lost a couple matches. Whoop-de-doo. They still have a boatload of talent. They will figure it out if they haven't already. And I think we've seen signs of them figuring out already. And while I'm not scared of them in the least, it is a tough little stretch here. And the fact that we have drawn our last two matches, but we probably should have won, really kind of sucks to be going into play Phoenix, then Open Cup, and then home for San Antonio, who is playing some ugly soccer, but they're freaking winning, and it's annoying as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Phoenix is going to be fine this season. They're going to make the playoffs. It's not no reason to panic for them. I think they've just kind of found their chemistry, and the pieces are kind of meshing together. I watched that Lights game. It was just kind of a weird game. The San Diego game. San Diego's a good ball club. So I'm not thinking that they are. I don't think I ever really panicked on them for anyways.
Earl, kind of a two-part question for you. Looking at Phoenix's losses to San Diego Loyal, Las Vegas Lights, do you feel like, number one, either of those were fluky losses? Like, are San Diego and Vegas legit this year? And two, would you feel better going into this weekend had we not drawn the previous two matches?
I don't think the losses were flukes. I mean, every dog has their day. That's for sure. If you don't believe me, I mean, look at last season where we drew with just about every other team on our schedule. So every dog has their day. Do I think that Las Vegas are the real deal? They can be if they continue playing the way they have. I mean, yeah, they can. Jacob probably doesn't agree with it, but whatever. And then the San Diego game, I mean, I believe that was their first match that they played.
Second
match. No, because I mean, you're still trying to figure things out week 2. I mean, we were still trying to figure out things week 2. We literally went from pressing in the 91st minute to deciding to play back pass for an entire half. So yeah, we're definitely trying to figure out things too. So no, I don't think that both those losses were flukes. I think they got the better of them for sure, and then they figured something out. And would I feel better going into this weekend with not 2 draws? No, because they're not 2 losses. One of them felt like a loss, that's for sure, but they're not losses. So the guys are still, I mean, confident that they can still win because they haven't lost yet. But no, I'm okay with the way things are going, especially not losing for sure. And then going into this, we're still playing good. Coming off of a 5-0 win against the lower team definitely builds some kind of confidence.
Looking at how Phoenix performed last year compared to this year, last year they had 5 losses all season long. We're match week 6. They've already got 2. They've already allowed a quarter of the goals they allowed all of last season. They've allowed 9 compared to 36 in 2021. Where do you think their biggest deficiency is, and how can we take advantage of that on Saturday?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. You're still unmuted, so I'll ask you first.
Oh. Actually, I don't know, because like I said earlier, I would much rather use Tabasco sauce as eye drops than watch a Phoenix Rising match. So I actually don't know, because I don't really pay attention to Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, you're asking us these questions like we're professionals and we're supposed to like watch film and analyze tape.
Wait,
I don't know what that's about.
You don't analyze, you don't watch, you don't.
I can tell you that
not all of us work for a major sports broadcast, a national sports broadcast, so we're not all lucky like you.
I work for a local affiliate of a major sports broadcaster, so.
Yes. What?
Earl's trying to say that because I write for ESPN Radio.
No, I know. I get where he's coming from. I forgot the question. Yes.
Yeah.
So
what is? Yeah.
I forgot what we're doing here.
Their problem is their back line, and I think what we do really well, what we've done really well this year with Ataka and Nico up top in particular, will already give them some fits. So I expect this to be another high-scoring affair in this rivalry, which shouldn't surprise anybody.
You know, David brings up an interesting point here, and it said I believe David was referring to both of their losses, saying there was no Santi in either match.
I think he's referring to their upcoming games.
Oh, okay.
Santi is hurt, so we will not see him in either match.
Okay. You know, you actually had a comment that got liked by by John Morsey of USL Tactics. He showed a clip of, I think it was the Loyal match against Phoenix, where they prevented Santi from cutting back to his right, and they really just kind of shut down Phoenix there in the final third quite a bit. Now, obviously, Phoenix is missing guys like Solomon Asante, who just signed for Indy from previous seasons.
By the way.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I did not see that coming at all. You know, looking at who they do have this year, what do you feel like our back line is going to hold up to that? Hold up to the attack from Phoenix Rising?
That very much depends on who our back line is.
Okay.
I want it to be Sheed, Ryden, Yearwood, as long as they're all fully fit.
Mhm.
I think Yearwood and Sheed have both given ball dominant wingers fits. So Marcus Epps trying to dribble in on that right side isn't going to work against Yearwood or Tete. And Ryden going up against Greg Hurst doesn't scare me. So if it's those three, I'm feeling a lot better. If it's Sheed, Ryden, Swahi, I'm still feeling pretty good. I think Seymour has held up fantastically. Seymour is not the center back that we need for this season period. We need Ryden back. And so I think if Ryden's in there, I feel pretty good about our back line. If he's not, then I'm a little nervous.
See, I said it a couple weeks back. I would much rather have Sam on the back line and Seymour in the defensive midfield area, only because I feel like Hamilton is more defensive strong. I feel like he's more backline minded to where he can actually maintain that backline and actually keep them composed versus to what Seymour can do where he doesn't have the, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, to keep that backline maintained and actually in the shape that they need to be.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like Sam has done so well out of the midfield. Like I don't necessarily want to pull him out of that.
Right. And I'm not saying he's done bad in the midfield.
Right.
I would just be more happy, more comfortable, not even happy, just more comfortable with Sam being on the back line because that's what he's played for the past 3 years is back line.
But it's not what he's played the past 3 years. It's what he played for 2 years. But in year one, he played defensive mid. I had the numbers several weeks ago, a month or so ago, but I want to say it was more. It was really close, but I think he was more in the defensive mid than he was a center back role in year one. And then the other 2 years, I think we were just light on center backs, so he played a lot of center back. And then last year, before he got hurt, we had seen him play some defensive mid. He was playing defensive mid when he got hurt. He is a defensive midfielder. That is what he is. I do not like the idea of taking one position that's weak and taking somebody from another position to fill that position, because then you're still weakening two positions. Hamilton may be a touch better than Seymour, but he's not better than Ryden. So Ryden to Hamilton is still a drop down.
And right, and I'm not saying he's better.
I'm not done
Ryden.
yet. And Hamilton to Seymour in the defensive midfield role is, I think, a step down. So instead of having maybe a little bit bigger step down in the back and then no step down in the middle, why wouldn't we keep it that way instead of bringing this one down a little bit and this one down a little bit? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand that, and I see I completely understand what you're getting at. You definitely want the strongest back line, and I do feel like if Kalen is able to return for Saturday, obviously he didn't play in the Open Cup. We don't know. We haven't heard too much about his injury status as far as what the issue is or where he's at in his rehab. I can say that Christian Nava and Josh Suggs were out training prior to the Open Cup match. So they're getting ever closer to coming back. And so I think, that gives us a little bit of a different aspect if those two come back. Now, as far as Kalen, again, we don't know the status of his injury. Hopefully we'll hear something here in the next couple days. But yeah, I think Ryden, and honestly, Ryden, Yearwood, and Rosh. I really feel like that's the best three. And Will has done new dad, Will Seymour, has done a fantastic job. I don't know if the club ever put that out or not, but Will's been coming out. He's been throwing it out there. He's been doing fantastic. Alexi's been doing fantastic. And Jacob's excited about who knows what.
Sorry, I'm very into the play-in game between the Timberwolves and the Clippers. I'm a lifelong Timberwolves fan, and this is probably the most exciting game that I've watched, and I've watched on mute because I am talking to numbskulls that want to interrupt me with TikTok quotes and argue about who's the biggest rival.
At least you're not watching the Lakers, so.
Oh yeah, I can't because they're at home.
Exactly.
Who's not at home though?
Who's that, Earl?
The number one team in the East, Miami Heat.
Who?
Cares?
Is Pat Riley still coaching? But yeah, looking at Saturday, like Wild Horse Pass is always a tough place to play. Phoenix Rising obviously had one of the longest unbeaten streaks in soccer in the U.S. a couple years ago, and so going into this match on Saturday, what do you think the odds are of picking up a win? And do you think coming out of there with a point on Saturday is a good enough result?
A good enough result for
playing Phoenix on the road.
The season outlook that I have.
Yeah.
Yes. Taking a point in Phoenix, taking a point on the road is almost always going to be, without looking at the game, without looking and seeing, oh, well, we were up in the 96th minute and we gave up a late goal. Barring that, when you just look at it in a vacuum for the whole season, taking a point on the road against another playoff team is quality. That's what you want to do. You want to get points on the road and win at home. And so if we come out of there with a point, I'm going to be happy unless it's like we outplayed them big time. Night, David.
Night, David. Thanks for hanging with us, man. We appreciate you being here.
So I would be happy with a point. I think the odds of us getting 3 points, slim. I would say 20% win, 50%, 40% tie, and 40% loss. Nah, that's a little skewed. 20, 50, 30.
Okay, let's see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So 538 has their projections out for this weekend's matches, and they have Phoenix Rising as a 50% favorite to win. 26% chance that we will win, and a 24% chance of a draw to happen. Earl, do you feel the same as Jacob? Do you think going in taking a point is that minimum the goal here, or do you think that the 3 points is necessary this weekend?
So I don't think 3 points are necessary. Obviously 3 points would be nice, especially against a Phoenix team. But yeah, 1 point. I mean, 1 point is definitely a win, and then 3 points is a victory for sure. I know a win and a victory are the same.
Did you just have a stroke? Did we just witness a stroke?
Probably. But no, that's really how I see it. I mean, if we can come out of Phoenix with 1 point, that's definitely a win. Because you've obviously taken 2 points from Phoenix, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously everyone is going for 3 points. So if we can get 3 points out of it, that would be optimal, obviously.
Tactically, Saturday night, and this will be my final question before we get to our predictions for the match. Tactically, who does United need to get involved to give them the best chance of winning?
Brett.
Brett. Okay. Two completely different answers and I imagine, I'm going to try to guess what you're thinking. Jacob, you want to see Weehan get involved for his creativity, his ability to push the ball forward, and open up some space in the box. Or you want Nico because of his pace, his ability to get in behind, and then go to get himself into one-on-one situations with the keeper.
Sure.
I'm just guessing. Like, how close am I to what you guys are to your lines of thought?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think that those are. I mean, you take what those two players do best, and if we say that they're who we need to get involved, it's because we want them to do what they do best. And what Weehan does best is create and wreak havoc, and I want him to spring Nico in behind and Tabor in behind, or occupy space from the defensive midfielders, so that you can get Nico one-on-one with a center back or one-on-one with the keeper. And I do think that we are going to score some goals. One more thing, guys. David's not here, and I wish he was. But another thing you need in a rivalry is you need both sides to have success in the rivalry. And say what you want, we have not had success against Phoenix. We have not beaten them, period. Open Cup penalty shootout does not count as a victory in my eyes. It means we moved down. Yes, we did move on. But we have not beaten them ever in our existence. And that, to me, this late in our lifetime, says they don't take us seriously, because why would they if we haven't beat them? And the rivalry just cannot be as fierce if you're not both going back and forth and winning games. But I digress. I think that with what Weehan and Nico do, they are going to give Phoenix fits no matter what. But what we need is more than 2 goals. That's what we need. Because even with Ryden, Yearwood, Tete, Swahi, even if the A team is back there, even if you have prime Tim Howard in net, this Phoenix team is going to score goals at home. That's
Tim
what
Howard?
they do.
Seriously? That's your poll?
Yeah, I said prime. I said prime Tim Howard. I didn't mean today Tim Howard.
Well, no, obviously not Tim Howard of today, but like of all the keepers, and we just lost Jacob. That's an interesting Tim Howard. Like, why would you? I don't know. While Jacob is figuring out his,
I would also go with prime Tim Howard, and I'm talking like 2014 World Cup Tim Howard.
Okay.
That's who I would go with.
I mean, I guess, like, I don't even know, man. Like, I'm gonna move Jacob out. Like, I'm trying to think, how many goals did Tim Howard allow in the 2014 World Cup? I'd have to look it up, but I just feel like there's more pulls, you know? Like, you could have pulled someone better than that. I don't know. Anyway, I think Jacob just texted us. Internet went out. Okay, so Jacob may not be back. But so let's finish this out.
Jacob hates me.
Yes, he does.
He fucking hates me. Sorry, I thought I saw. Oh yeah. So Tim Howard in the round of 16 in 2014 against Belgium made 16 saves.
That's right. That's what he did well.
He actually holds the record right now for the most saves in a World Cup.
Yeah. That's right. I remember that. Because Romelu Lukaku won that match for them, if I remember correctly. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and finish this out. Jacob gave us his scoreline prediction in our group text. He says 3-3. Earl, what's your prediction for Saturday?
So we might lose fans on this one. We might not. We might gain some Phoenix fans. Unfortunately, I do have to say 3-2 Phoenix.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest. Like that was a scoreline I had in my head as well. 3-2 Phoenix. Phoenix is still a very, very talented club. Audrey over in the chat. Her prediction is 1-1 with Nico Brett picking up a goal. Yeah, Phoenix at home. It's a tough place to play. It's always a tough matchup, and Phoenix is gonna be up for this match. I agree. There's gonna be goals. So yeah, I think 3-2 Phoenix. Don't get me wrong. I would love to pick up 3 points. I want to be proven wrong. I think if we walk out of there with a point, it's a good result.
I'm actually hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm praying to God that I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm not, and it's going to be a 3-2. I could even say probably 2-1. Either way, it's going to be a 1-goal game, United losing, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's just the way it is sometimes. And I obviously picked against United a couple times last season, just because the way the matchup is gonna play out, the location, how the teams look at the moment, just what I feel like is the capabilities of each club. So there you have it. Earl and myself both going 3-2. Audrey Cortina going 1-1. Jacob saying 3-3. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. Before Earl closes out, I do want to say keep an eye out for content later this week over on the website. We'll be back next week. Do Open Cup preview, and also before we get one more thing, Audrey Cortina, thank you, a huge thank you to Audrey for hanging out with me after the Open Cup match, doing a recap that did go up over the weekend over on our podcast feed. So be sure to check that out. Audrey will be coming back and doing some more content with us, some more things throughout the season. So with all of that being said, Earl, get us out of here.
Well, I'll obviously try to do my best. I'm definitely not Jacob. My forehead's a lot smaller than that. Well, that's all we have for this week, guys. Till next week, somos unidos.